All right, another hot topic to remove and something that just destroys shots: power lines and telephone cables. Either one of those running through your shot just kind of kills it. Take a look at the one we have here. I brought you the Mac Daddy of power cables. So this is a beautiful old church in Budapest, Hungary. And you can see it's just got these cables running right through the middle of it. What a disaster. And light poles. So what do? Our first stop is to go to the spot healing brush. You're going to make your brush a little bit larger than the thing you want to remove. Click once, hold the shift key. Why are you holding the shift key? Because it draws a straight line between 2 points. If you click, hold shift and click, it draws a straight line. Watch. Shift, click. Gone. It's pretty sweet, right? Click, shift, click again, and it's gone. So that's what we're going to do. Make sure your brush is not much bigger than the thing you want to remove. Shift, and we're going to go right past this tower. And look, it rebuilds the tower pretty well. Now, do you see that little bend in there? There's a little tiny bend right there. This is what I was talking about. It bends just a little right in there. So here's where you will switch to the rubber stamp tool, the clone stamp tool. Make it small. The clone stamp tool is going to let us copy, right? We're going to copy this perfectly straight piece of concrete, and I'm going to move down with my cursor, then I'm going to click and drag, and it's perfectly straight. And so that's what you're going to do. That little preview, what you see inside that circle is critical because you can see the straight line. You can move it until it lines up, then you click and drag. So you'll have to do that sometimes. It's just the way it is. So let's go grab this. We're going to click. This is the spot healing brush again. We're going to click down here, move over, and then shift, click. And that's not too bad. If you want to fix it with the clone stamp tool, you can. Now, here's what you're going to find. You have to make a decision when you're doing this removing stuff. The decision is, what am I doing with this? Is it going on Instagram? If it's going on Instagram, your image is going to be 1080 pixels. It's going to be very small on a phone. Even on a tablet, it's still going to be small. It's the most forgiving of all things. Don't worry about these little tiny lines this big, because no one will ever see it that big on Instagram or probably on Facebook. But if you're going to make a print, if you're going to make a big like 20 by 30 print or something, that's when you need to go back and straighten out stuff like this. For the most part, I could zip through here, just going click, click, clean, clean, fix, 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 fix. And if it's going on the web, I doubt anyone will ever know. It's when things get big, when you start printing large, that's when it's going to go. But I'll show you how I would go ahead and do this from here on out. So look here, look where my wire is. Click, shift, let's go all the way over here. Now that did a horrible job. Let's undo. You know why? Had the wrong tool. Had the clone stamp tool. It looked horrible, didn't it? Let's switch to the healing brush. Bet this works better. Click, shift. Ah, that's better. A million times better. Let's click there, shift, go down here to this clean spot. And look at that. It did a really nice job. So that's what we're going to do to get rid of power lines, folks. Right there. And we're cutting right through the building. And it fixes it up just beautifully. Right through the church and no problem. Let's click here. Go down there. Now you can see it messed up the roof over here. That's okay. If it makes a mistake, you know what to do. Let's get rid of this one first, and then we'll go fix the other mistake. Let's get all the way down to there. All right, so that's the first big mess up. It's done right there. This is where you switch to the clone stamp tool. You're going to click right on this roof. Now watch inside my cursor. You can see the line I just clicked on. Line that line up with the roof. And that little, look at this little piece right here. I got to line up with, so I'm going to zoom in so you can see. Look, that would be a stupid place to click. Move over when it lines up with the line. Then you just bring this in. Now you can see I'm still going to have a little problem, right? Some of the lines didn't quite line up. That's okay. We're going to make this small, and we're going to get rid of that. There we go. And we're going to extend this line. Click and extend it up a little bit like that. Move over. We're going to fix this line that got a little butchered in that. We're going to extend this green up there a little more, and we're going to cover this a little bit. I'm cloning over what was here over there, and in a few seconds our roof is pretty close. Let's back off to a reasonable amount, and you'd never know. Now again, I could tighten it up a little bit more than I did. Now, what about this crane back here? Believe it or not, I have a whole thing on removing construction. It's one of the later projects. I have an entire thing on removing things like construction cranes and scaffolding and stuff. That's coming up, so don't go away. Now, what about this stuff? What about, let me back off a little bit more. There we go. What about these horrible things that are killing our photo? You're going to get the spot healing brush, make it a little bigger than what you want to remove, paint over this, paint over that, and straight down the pole. Gone. Paint over this part down here with all the little cell tower junk on it. Gone. Paint over that little smidge there. Gone. Now, let's go look at the tower. I bet it's a little off because that was a pretty big mess. Yeah, see how it's going straight and then it's crooked right there? That's okay. We know how to fix that. Get the clone stamp tool, switch to the clone stamp tool, click right on that edge, move down, and when it's perfectly in line, start painting, and there's your nice straight edge again. Easy as pie. When you remove something big like that, sometimes with the healing brush it's going to bend and the clone stamp tool will not. Let's go over here to this other pole. Get the spot healing brush, go, get that, and gone. Then let's go back to the church and see if we messed up anything pretty badly. Actually, it looks pretty good. So that's really the technique for removing wires. But let's take that because it's not just for removing telephone wires. Don't think that, think big. So let's take a look at another image. Here's another image that has all kinds of stuff that needs removed, but a lot of it is in a straight line. So here's what we would do. First, I'm going to get the spot healing brush and I'm going to get rid of this buoy, which is just annoying and just not good. Okay, easy enough. Now, let's zoom in on the boat here a little bit and let's get rid of some of these ropes. So we click right here, go over here, click again, and I kind of missed. So it wasn't exactly a straight line, so we're going to have to just follow it. Start here, and I'm not using a Wacom tablet or anything, I'm just using my finger on a trackpad. But here we go, let's just go down here, and then why don't we just move up here, get rid of the stick while we're here, and let's see how that did. Ah, much better. Of course, we have ropes floating in space here, so let's take that back to the edge of the boat and back to the edge. Okay, do you see what happened there? Do you see that over there, how it's kind of just a mess? I know it's all pixelated, but what happened was it decided to sample the other rope to get rid of it, and that's why sometimes it picks a bad sampling spot. If that's the case, try it again, undo, and let's try to go the opposite direction. Nope, it's still sampling in a bad place. This is when you switch to the regular healing brush. This is when you go over here and go to a regular healing brush because it's just not getting it. So we're going to go over here, option click something over here. So when we go up here, it's not going to try to sample from the other rope because you told it, no, sample from this piece of rock. That's when you switch to the healing brush right there. Now that there's not any other brush, we could probably go back to the spot for the other one. And I mean, there's no other rope for it to accidentally choose from. All right, and let's go and get rid of this knot. We'll get rid of this. You can see how quickly you can clean up something like this, right? No problem. Get rid of this piece of whatever that thing was. And you can see that the boat right there where it met the boat, there's that little bit of, I don't know what you call it, crookedness. And you would probably want to go in there, watch, shift click to get rid of that. Look how quickly we're getting rid of all this stuff. And I'm just painting right along. But that little area where it was bumpy where it meets the boat, sometimes it's not going to be awesome. See, there's another area where it keeps sampling from a bad spot. Undo. Switch to the other healing brush. Option click right above it. And then it's not going to try to sample bad stuff. We'll option click over here. And then you can actually option click here and bring that little piece of chain down. So that way, if it does grab a weird place, let's switch back to the spot healing. And so Why do I keep going back to the spot healing? Because it's easier. I don't have to sample every time. I just want to sample if there's a problem. Ooh, and see how that kind of smeared? Let's try that again. That didn't look very good. How's that going? Okay. All right, that's better. It kind of looked like it was smearing there a bit. And we'll get right to that little piece of rope right there. We have a straight piece we can get rid of here, all the way to the bottom of the boat. Get rid of this piece here. And you can see what we're going to do. Now there's other stuff up here like this stick you might want to get rid of just because it's an unattractive stick. That's not helping the shot. You have a pole back here that's just not beautiful. Click, and we'll click down here. And it did pretty good. Let's look up here. There's an ugly, I don't know what. There's a duck. Don't take out the duck if you're a nature lover. How about this lamp post? Let's get rid of that. Make the brush just bigger than the lamp post. Click, click to the top, click over, paint around it. It's gone. How about that little red thing? Gone. How about this staircase, this handrail to the staircase? Let's make this look much more natural. And then over here, you picked up a little something extra. We'll get rid of that junk. All right. Boy, we got rid of that pretty well. Now, you could go in here and tighten some of this stuff up, right? You know, where it met down here and, you know, what you saw me do with the clone stamp tool. But look what we did in just a few seconds. Let's go back to the beginning. From here to here. It's a pretty powerful tool. Holding that shift key reminds you to get, holding that shift key, I'm reminding you. I'm reminding you, hold the shift key to get rid of straight lines, but if it's not a perfectly straight line, you're just going to have to trace along with your mouse or with your, in this case, a trackpad. But this is easy stuff. But what I think the cool thing about this was we ran into that situation where you needed to switch to the healing brush to make it work. Now, could we have switched to the clone stamp tool? Yeah, but in this case, I think it's better to switch to the healing brush. The healing brush is going to be either the spot healing brush or the regular. It's going to be our first choice, because it does a little smarter math on what it chooses. It just doesn't pick up something and clone it